we're gonna do today is continue kind of where we left off, but in addition to that, I think I'm going to... I read back over the comment, and we are going to add a type of sort of impact landing that was requested when you're in the air and you dash, instead of just like flying off as it currently does. We're gonna make it some sort of effect when you land. It's a pretty good idea. So shout out to Teldrin Sero 1887. We're gonna keep it pretty simple. Instead of doing a magic attack, let's go with... We've got a lot of earth here, a lot of fire. Ooh, pulse. That might be promising. Let's see what pulse does. Spent a bit of time there, but this is kind of the process. This is why it takes the amount of time that it takes for me to get stuff out. The way I have it set up is you have to take the injection in order to have your fire landing, lightning landing, ice landing. But for the dash, this is separate. So we want to be able to do it without having to inject ourselves. So basically, I'm going to come off of here. Basically add another sequence. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done. Yeah, a lot of this is not pretty at all. But it is what it is when you're working alone. So let's just call this dash impact landing. Boom. So now we've got this extra little, instead of doing this, this is exclusively for your supernatural stuff. I want to do this. And now it should work as intended. But the only problem is it's going to work every time. So every time we land, I'm predicting that it's going to be kind of distracting. But this is just to get... Yeah. So basically, it already happened. So basically, that's kind of it's kind of cool, but a bit distracting. We don't want that. What we want to do is trigger it by pressing a certain button. I just wanted to see what that looked like. So now that we know what it looks like, there is something here. Trick landing. Let's look for something here. This is kind of a big deal. We kind of need this in order to set up it to not trigger every time. So we're just going to call this dash landing. Get rid of this. And we are actually going to have to make a new Boolean. On top of the, I don't know, 100 I already have. So it really helps to have your Booleans and all your variables organized. But anyway, dash landing. And yeah, pretty much the same thing. So let's see. How did I have this one set up again? So ice landing, cool beans. Okay, cool. We're just gonna pretty much do dash landing for this. And if it is a dash landing, then we do the impact. So just by adding that, it will stop automatically doing that impact when we land on the ground each time. But instead of just stopping there, I want to speed things up. I want to know what we did for this. Right? So what we did is we set up our interaction button while we're falling to do lightning while it's in lightning mode, to do ice while it's in ice mode, to do, where is it, fire while it's in fire mode. Well, we're going to kind of use this, except it's just going to be while falling, just to test it out. But what we really want is while dashing. While dashing and falling, we want that impact to happen with our dash landing. So, here we go. Interaction. Oh, what else did I do? Released. Right. Right, so on released, we're just going to say dash landing and set it to inactive. Right. On our press, we're setting it to active, released, inactive. It's very simple. So now, what'll happen is, if we jump anytime, it won't trigger. Like, it's inactive until we press our interaction, but we can only do that while we're in the air. However, I'm going to change this to one of our other inputs, because I'm just going to keep two PS4 inputs just to explain it easier. The circle button is our dash button, our general dash button across the board. So whether we're in supernatural mode, whether we're in normal mode, whether we're playing as Sarah, that is our typical dash button. So I would rather use this one just to keep things a bit more organized. And so while we're in the air, and we need to have an and here, while we're in the air, and while anyway, without further ado, we're gonna set this up, and yeah, it should be ready to go. Should be just a general dash downward into the ground. Yeah, I want to make sure to save. I have had corrupt files, erasures, deletions, shutdowns, you name it. I've lost 2 projects. My original Avium file, which is completely different from this, is just gone. So, yeah, basically 3 years of trial and error. You want to save everything every time. It doesn't matter what you did. If you created a boolean and didn't use it, save it. By default, right now, teleport is active. So that is what's going to happen. It's going to look straight into the ground, and it should actually like add some damage.
I'm going to check it out.
We'll exchange that effect. I don't care for it. It's just for an example. So I'm gonna go back to the original formula. This is me up here. I'm gonna actually just return it to normal, because it was pretty good in the beginning. And let's see what else. Let's just change that to make it consistent. Okay, so let's see. I As long as we are not invisible. See, this is all good right here. Pretty good. Pretty good. I like this. I like it a lot. Okay, so what we'll do, instead of having this here... Right, hold on. Instead of having this here, we're going to move this a little bit. We're simply gonna add this to something I already have. Okay, I figured out what's going on, and I want it to do a certain thing. Okay. So we just have to figure out so right around here, if he's not flying or falling, we do that. But if he is flying or falling, I want to do this. But at the same time, I want to do this. Right? So let's just see if this works. This should go here. Okay, and this should go over here. Alright, I think we're going to have something here. I think we're going to have something promising. I'm just going to add this at the end. I don't think it'll matter too much. So after this, we're going to move on to making ourselves invincible while dashing. That's a big one because right now the enemy can still shoot you while you're dashing. So cool and dashing, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's go with some sort of I don't know, wave, a shock wave of some sort. Let's do this, and let's change the color, because this color, you know, that's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, let's go ahead and make a new one. Shockwave dash is what we'll call it. Let's see what I've disabled here. I know I've disabled a lot for certain effects to kind of look a certain way, but if we see here, not sure if you can see it, but we're gonna re-enable some things to make it look, yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. Now, instead of it being blue, we're gonna make it purple because that is going to be consistent with our teleporter. So, still see a little bit of blue here. I think it's light, so should be pretty purple now. Yeah, there it is. Alright, that's pretty sweet. So you got your dashing, and this is like hit somebody. I want it to be like that slashing that I mentioned. We need to slow it down. This is way too fast. Yeah, now we have this sort of like boom shockwave as soon as we land. Actually, pretty good. It really does match the particle effect that we have here. So I really like that. We need to correct that a little bit at a time though. Let me focus on what I said I would and make ourselves invincible. So I think that's going to be handled in the dash component. When we start dashing, we need to have We just want him to have a collision response to one thing, maybe two things. So that would be projectiles, like ballistics, and also missiles, and also, let's see, child missile, yeah. So anything that's like projectile related. I think these are, yeah. So we want him to have no collision to any of these things, and then when he comes back, bring them back again. And that should be it for today. And then, obviously, when we come back, let's see what he's currently under. So currently, yep, it's blocking. Oh, I see, he's already ignoring. So we don't need these. Ballistic. So basically just the ballistic, projectile. Awesome, less work. Less work is better. So, no child, no missile. So just these two. And then when we come back from dashing, obviously, instead of using this thing, I think that's where I have it set. We can get rid of this. This didn't work out. So instead of having this one, we're going to kind of default our collisions there. Return them to default. And yeah, this should look pretty good. Okay. Everything else, world static. Yeah, I mean, let's see what's going on then. Maybe I mixed it up. So we start dash. We set our capsule. You know, we might have to set the mesh as well, that the bullets ignore us. You gonna shoot us? Dang, that's not it. And we lost our effect, so that's definitely not it. Get rid of that. Okay. Well, anyway, I'll cut it off there, and we'll figure that part out in the next one. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Sorry for the rambling. I'm really not used to this format, but I kind of want to show my background process. Thought it would be just unique and interesting to show this side of things for a change. You've seen basically all the promotional stuff, all the cool, how everything looks cool at the end of the journey, but you've never actually seen the journey to getting it there. And it could be something cool. It's probably something boring, but yeah, just wanted to show that. So yeah, thanks a lot.